Hello everyone, it's me, Kirsten. How are you? Hey, you, what's up? It is me. It is the It's Giving Mystical podcast, and this is your weekly card for the week of July 12th. I just want to remind everyone, just a quick reminder, this in-between moment between these two Capricorn full moons, a lot is happening. Capricorn is earth energy. This is happening on the material plane. These are real life recalibrations, resets in the system. I was talking to my cousin Maddie, and she was saying that there's some astrological event happening, I think between Mars and Uranus, but you have to listen to her. She knows all the details. She was saying something about how it has eclipse energy, and her and I were both agreeing that we could kind of feel that same sense of something's coming, something's shifting, and like an anticipation, like you can, the way the air changes before a storm. I can feel that, I hear the truth in that, but I can also feel the way that these two Capricorn full moons really are creating their own kind of portal. Even though we're not in an eclipse portal, it has a similar energy of things are getting taken care of. If Capricorn does nothing else, it takes care of business. And you can feel the reshift. And what's so beautiful about it is that it includes a lot of taking responsibility, a lot of accountability, mixed with a lot of compassion and a lot of sense of, oh, even these things I was doing, whether they were right or wrong, good or bad, they all came from this beautiful place, and I'm strong enough, and I'm wide enough, and I'm open enough, and I'm aware enough, and I'm present enough to choose differently now, to do things differently. And it's like this coat gets removed, this layer, this armor, this shell gets removed, and it might be softer underneath, but there's this strength in that softness. There's this ability to trust yourself and therefore allow more of yourself to be seen. It's really beautiful energy. I'm sure it's showing up for you in different ways. I feel how important it is to remind me and you and all of us that we're in this transitional moment and things are starting to fall in place, and there's a little bit of a let go and let God. There's a little bit of a hands off the wheel, and just pay attention to what nourishes you. Just pay attention to where your energy wants to go. And even if you just make micro movements towards that, you're going to see the results. You're going to see how much you've been missing it. For me, for example, I do a lot of art, and it's not really art, like I'm not painting, you're not hanging this on the wall, but there's a sense of I need to be creating something with my hands. I need to be making beauty with my hands. It's something that's always been important to me. And I haven't been doing that flat out, have not been tending to my life in that way. And I recently in the Cancer new moon, something came up and it reminded me, and I kind of put my hands back in the clay. I'm not making sculpture either, so these are all metaphors. But my hand's back in it, and I feel so good. The amount of energy that was released in honoring and owning the fact that I need that in my life is profound. And I can see how it can feel like the thing that you want to do isn't also have or nice to have. It can feel like the thing that if you relax and you feel into, what do I want? What do I need? What am I missing in my life? It can feel like I'm missing this thing, and that's a nice to have, but I have real things to handle. And there's something about this Cancer Capricorn that's saying the real things you have to handle are the things that your heart is calling for. Those are one and the same. Those are two sides of the same coin. And there's this beautiful invitation to reach towards what your heart wants and watch how it actually is the key. Like it's the key ingredient. It's the thing that's been missing, and how it releases all of this other energy in other parts of your life. Does that make sense? Can you hear me? Can you feel me? Can you dig it? The card that comes up for us this week is the Five of Wands. Another card that has been with us before. The Five of Wands is challenge, conflict, freedom, liberation, creativity. Wands are our fire energy, our heat, and we're coming from the Six of Wands week. We're kind of moving seemingly backwards. Six of Wands is victory. It is the harmonizing of that fire energy. The Five of Wands is a disruption of the fire energy, and it comes before the Six. It precedes the Six, right? We survive the challenge of the Five. We survive the conflict of the Five, survive the breaking down that occurs in that Five energy to come to a place of harmony. We're not doing it that way. Last week, the energy that really came through was honor where you've come from. Honor your lineages, honor your teachers, honor your inspirations, honor the people and the support that have allowed you to be wherever you are. And in doing so, you kind of unknot something, you unlock something. That is 5 energy. So 5 can be a challenging energy because there's so much to it. I don't know if you've been feeling this. There's so much energy available in your nervous system when you attend to what you should be attending to. And I don't use the word should lightly. We know how I feel about the word should. What does Gay say? It's an energetic vacuum. It's a void. It offers nothing to the party. But there is a sense here that there are things you know you need, things you know you want, things you know you're just calling for it. You're being pulled towards it. And you might have a story about why that's okay or why that's not okay or why that's appropriate or why that's not appropriate. And yet they keep calling. The amount of energy that's unleashed in your nervous system and your body when you attend to those things, take a minute, think about what's something you know you want, you know you need, you know your heart's calling for, and you have some reason why not now, some reason why later or after this or once I do this. I just give you permission to see, well, how could I be with that today? What could I change today? What could I shift today? What could I attend to today that would just kind of invite a little bit more of that in my life? Experiment, see what that does, see what that releases in you, and then hopefully allow a little bit more. It doesn't have to be this all or nothing. It doesn't have to be quit my job and move to Bali, although amen if that's what your heart's calling you towards. It can be these kind of incremental, oh, I see. There was energy bound there and I want to liberate. I want to free it. 5 of Wands can be a challenging card. 5s can be challenging in general. The 5 of Wands is probably, you could argue, the least challenging of the 5 cards across the suits in the tarot. Because in the 5 of Wands, there's an awareness of how quickly it all goes, how little it means. You've ever heard one of those memes that's, you're a stardust floating on a rock hurtling through space and don't worry about it so much? That's the energy of the 5 of Wands. Don't worry about it so much. Time is quick. Your time here is quick. No one's really paying attention. Most people are really focused on what they're doing and they're not so worried about what you're doing. And the heart of the matter is, how do you feel? How does it feel to be you? How does it feel to be in your body? The 5 of Wands is an awareness of it's all a game. It's an awareness of, Shakespeare said, sound and fury signifying nothing, or, just a moment on the stage. It's that kind of energy. It's just a game. One of my favorite tarot writers, she says this is the card of the NBA. You've heard me say that before, but I always think of it because there's something about that sports analogy. Have you watched that show Shoresy? It's so silly, very weird, funny hockey show. That's a perfect example. They go all out, blood on the ice, crazy every game. And then the last episode ended and they're all having dinner together. That's the 5 of Wands energy. It's so serious, so intense, but within the confines of the game. Outside of that, it doesn't really mean much. And so how can you recognize where you're taking it too seriously? How can you, and remember we have that devil energy with us in this July, so that's just, that question is really with us, really alive with us. Where am I taking it too seriously? The Olympics. This is definitely the card of the Olympics. Most of the athletes in the Olympic have dedicated their whole lives to perfecting their sport, and yet when they get there, when they get to the field, the track, in that moment, it's everything. And yet, the best athletes know it's everything, and then it's over. And there's something about that energy that's just with us. And the 5 of Wands wants you to remember that it feels really exciting and important and challenging and intense, and it's all just a game. And it's all going to be over so quick. Another example of this is when you think back to a year ago, think about something that you worried about a year ago or a month ago or a week ago. And the 5 of Wands is why? You don't know what's going to happen next. You don't know what's around the next corner. You know who you are in this moment. Be that as fully as possible and watch how the world dances with you. Watch how life keeps moving. A card that's always reminding you to take it easy a little bit. At the same time, it's reminding you to play full out. And the important distinction there, it's asking you to play full out. So if you feel yourself getting in a place where you think something is do or die, or you think it's life or death, or it feels like someone's after you, 5 of Wands can very much be interpersonal conflict, feel like someone's challenging you, or someone is after you, or someone is out to get you, or someone doesn't understand you, that's very present with the Five of Wands energy. And I would say to you, if you can just breathe and stay grounded and do your part for this week, by the time the week rolls over, you will see that it's not the case. You will see that it was a lot less serious than you might have imagined. The Five of Wands comes, we want to play, we want to move our body, we want to express our fire energy. If you have a healthy sex life, enjoy that in the Five of Wands week. If you have an artistic practice, enjoy that in the Five of Wands week. If you want to challenge your body, do that in the Five of Wands week. There's something about the excess energy and how it wants to be enjoyed, felt, experienced. Like you're alive, you're in this body, you get to run, you get to roll around on the grass, you get to have sex, you get to climb a tree, you get to ride a bike, you get to enjoy a meal. There's something about that exuberance of I'm here now, and I want to be here fully now. So the Five of Wands is a reminder around all of that. It is also, like I said, don't take it too seriously. Like I said, it's probably not personal. In the Five of Wands, there's these kind of bursts. It's like a firecracker, these bursts of energy. Enjoy that feeling. Don't take it too seriously. And also see what gets released. Notice the colors that get released in the charge of energy, in the movements of energy. It can be a little chaotic, but it has its own desire to find completion, desire to find expression. So while it might feel a little chaotic, it does have its own momentum, its own revealing. Be thoughtful about your environment. Be thoughtful around, it has a little bit of fire ant energy. If you know the Kim Krantz Wild Unknown Animal deck, that fire ant energy of like, who are you surrounding yourself with? Whose voices are in your head? Go to someone, a friend, and you say, I'm having this trouble. Do they ramp up the drama and ramp up the volume and ramp up the sense of do or die? Or do they kind of appreciate it and get curious about who you are and what it's like and bring grounding and bring patience to that? Just be aware of who you're allowing into your field, especially where you feel sensitive, where it feels important, where you feel vulnerable. Just notice who's around you and maybe be thoughtful about who you allow to come close energetically in a Five of Wands week. You might notice you allow someone to feel close and then you're like, that was a bad idea. And that's okay. That's good learning. Five of Wands, ton of energy. You can hear it in my voice. Definitely hot July, summer energy. A little bit of a jostling, and that's okay. It's a little bit of, there's going to be some heat and there's going to be some challenge and some sweat, and that's all right. There's something that wants to get released, and that's a good thing. I don't know. I like it. I like the way it feels. And I just think our biggest reminder this week is going to be let it shuffle. Like let the playlist shuffle. Let the game run out. Let the clock run out. Like let these things find their own resolution. You are not the creator of all things. Like you don't need to be the one in charge of all things. You are allowed to relax and enjoy the flow and enjoy the game a little bit without having to be the mastermind all of the time. There's something here about, can I just be with this wave as it comes to shore? I'll talk to you guys later. Happy week, happy July, happy space between these full moons. I'm very with you, very with me, I'm very with the energy, and I'm very curious as to see where we find ourselves come July 21st. The many miles we will have traveled in these few short weeks. Check you later. It's giving everything is sacred. It's giving art. It's giving light you up and turn you on and set you free. It's giving curiosity. It's giving freedom. It's giving love. It's giving you are more magical and powerful than you can comprehend. It's giving, I don't know what's happening, but I am so here for it. It's giving you are pure potential. It's giving mystical.